Hi there, chemists. Mr. Arns here again, and I just wanted to speak with you for a moment about materials that you should bring with you to class every day. I think that bringing materials is a way to ensure your success because, of course, you need those materials to work on assignments that I give you and to be able to process the information and do it efficiently and reflectively in class. So, before we begin, though, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Topeka High School, my home school. I've been teaching here at Topeka High for almost 30 years, and I really think Topeka High is one of the best high schools in the state of Kansas. Certainly this lab room that I'm sitting in is, I think, the best equipped lab room, lab space in the whole state of Kansas, and I hope that you will care for it, that you'll take care of this room and the other facilities here at Topeka High because it is such a special place, not only to me, but just educationally in the history of Topeka. Chemistry was one of the first courses that was taught at Topeka High School. Records of chemistry being taught go back to about 1870. And of course, that wasn't all in this gorgeous building here at 800 West 10th Street. The first Topeka High School was actually a building downtown. And then they grew out of that building because their enrollment got big enough, and eventually in 1932 this building was built as part of a Works Project Administration project during the Great Depression. And what a glorious facility, what a glorious building it is. I hope that you take care of it and that you have pride in it because it is your house and our house while we have our school here. Materials that you need to bring with you every day, no exceptions. Every day you should bring this textbook. Now, maybe I haven't checked it out to you yet, but when I do check it out to you, you should bring it with you every day. Make sure that comes with you. It's a great resource. You're going to bring with you a notebook. And this notebook is going to be your record of your learning process in chemistry. It's going to be where you collect all that information that you have gained in chemistry, all the lab reports that you've done, marking the text articles that we do in class or as homework, problems that you work in class or as homework, your reflections and thoughts and summaries about materials that we've learned, your difficulties that you have in learning chemistry. All of that will be collected in this notebook. And so it becomes very important. It's your learning log, your record of learning in chemistry. You can see that one example is a spiral notebook. That's perfectly fine. Another possibility is to use a composition book. I like the composition book because it doesn't have that wire to get all tangled up with things, and it's all nicely bound. The only requirement is that either of these that you pick have to have at least 70 pages, and I prefer 100 pages. Along about 70 pages, that's about how many we use during the course of the year. In fact, most students use a few more than that. So 100 pages is probably better than 70, but at least 70 will get you started in a good way. Notice that both of these notebooks have nice decoration on the cover. You should put something on the cover that tells something about you. For instance, this person must have liked Elvis Presley because it says the King up at the top and then has some pictures of Elvis Presley down here at the bottom. Whereas this person, I gather, must have liked horses. Oh no, I guess camels, my goodness, camels, and then maybe put a picture of her friend or a member of her family on the front of her notebook. Also, your name should be on the notebook, somewhere visible on the front of the notebook. And both of these have those names printed. Now, if you prefer to use a 3-ring notebook, that's fine too. You'll just need to make sure you decorate the front cover of that 3-ring binder and that you put your name on the front, and you can add pages, loose leaf pages, as we go along into that 3-ring binder. That'll work just fine too. Now, in addition to your notebook, you want to bring a calculator. And you want to bring a pencil or a pen. I've got my pen with me at all times. So those are the materials that every day you'll need to have. This calculator, just as a piece of information, I like scientific calculators like this. This one's just fine. It can put in exponential numbers. It obviously does addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It can also do things like logarithms and sines and cosines, which are helpful occasionally in chemistry. So a scientific calculator is great. One of those graphing calculators, if you have a graphing calculator, is just fine, but it doesn't need to be a graphing calculator. Even a simple four-function calculator with just the arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, will work for most of our applications. So bring that calculator with you. Now I want to tell you a little bit more about setting up your notebook, because that's a very important thing. You've got to get a good start on this, and this will, again, will be your learning log, and I hope that you take pride in what you do in this notebook. It's a great piece of information that's going to show your growth in chemistry. Again, a decorated cover. On the inside cover, I want you to glue carefully that rule sheet that I gave you. So the rule sheet glued in there, and when you fold that sheet over, you'll notice that the rubric that we'll use for scoring many of our pieces of work is right there. So rule sheet glued to the front inside cover, and the rubric, when the page is folded over, shows right there perfectly on that front inside cover. We'll use that a lot, so make sure you do that. Then the next page is the table of contents. In fact, the next 5 pages are table of contents pages. On the table of contents, you put that heading at the top, table of contents. Then you draw a vertical line right down the middle. You're going to separate it into 2 columns. On the left column, you're going to put odd pages as the heading. And the odd pages start with number 1 and then go odd numbers, 3, 5, 7. You can keep going. This one goes through 63 on that first column, so 1 through 63 odd. And the other side, of course, then is even. You can do that, 2, 4, 6, 8, etc., all the way down to 64 here at the bottom. And notice what they've done. They put in a description. For instance, page 1 in this notebook says it's the observation lab. Well, we're going to have a lab like that on our page 1 as well. So that's our page 1 also. Page 2 is a continuation of that observation lab and some Cornell notes, according to this notebook. And if we flip over, the second page is just more table of contents, odd pages on the left, line in the middle, even pages on the right. Odd pages start with 65. And table of contents at the top, all of that. So I want you to take 1, 2, 3 pages and then do 4 and 5. 5 pages of table of contents. You're going to need it for all the work that we do. Just to show you, here's our observation lab on page 1. She actually put her page numbers down at the bottom, but I prefer them up at the top. So big number 1 would be up here, good. And her continuation of the lab, page number 1. I'm sorry, page number 2 here at the top. That's her conclusion. So she's got, you see, a right-hand page over here and a left-hand page here. Left-hand pages are generally used for work that you do. And right-hand pages are used for work that we do together, like taking some Cornell notes, which we'll do and practice on together a little bit initially. Just to give you an idea of how that works, I'll find another left-hand page. Oh, here's a good example of a left-hand page. This left-hand page has a lab on it, models of elements and compounds. And if I unfold that to look at it, oh yeah, look at those beautiful pictures of models that this student made, along with their score right there. And on the right-hand side of that same page, she's got some definitions, element and atomic number, defined right there. If I turn to the next page, oh, look at this. She's got some Cornell notes about mixtures, what a mixture is. And continues over to the next page, and she's got a summary, nice summary of that Cornell notes work. So you can see it's got good right and left-hand page. Right-hand page for the things we do together, left-hand page for things that you work on your own. I just wanted to show you one other one that I thought was particularly appealing about this. This is a real artistic person here, and she's done some really nice work. Here we go. Look at this left-hand page that she did, a spectrum of light from red to violet, beautifully done on the side, along with some other information about waves of light and so forth. She's on her notes page, the right-hand page, she's highlighted things that are important points. Looks like she's even color-coded them. Beautiful. And if I turn to virtually any page in her notebook, on the right-hand page, she's highlighted what she considers the most important information on that page. So just a great log for learning. That notebook is going to be scored about once a month. I'll collect them and score them. And I've just been impressed over the years with how much care people take and